MAGA stands for Make America Great Again. Obviously, concerning the drama triangle, the left used Trump as a persecutor. Not surprisingly, people who don't like Trump decided on the meaning of this slogan for him. We used to give people the benefit of the doubt or ask specifically, what do you mean by that? We used to care about finding out what other people meant. Now, people ascribe the worst possible meaning to anything a quote-unquote persecutor says. They see Trump as a racist. Because they view him as a persecutor who is quote-unquote racist, they will ascribe racist beliefs to the slogan he uses. So to them, it means going back to a time when there was more white supremacy. They don't realize that they're the white supremacists. You can click on why critical race theory is a white supremacist belief to learn more about that. When was America great? They think, when was America great? They are stuck in the drama triangle with the narrative that America is a racist country and always was. They cannot admit there was something great about America or how it was founded. If they admitted anything could be great about America in the past, then it would ruin their victim narrative of today. Because the drama triangle roles are codependent, eviscerating the victim narrative also means the Democrats can't play saviors any longer. By the way, suggesting that America was great using the past tense means it's not now, which helps Trump play a savior role with the Democrats as persecutors who ruin the country. Politics, no matter what side, are heavily involved in the drama triangle, even if Democrats seem better at it. MAGAt dehumanization. Now that Trump is no longer the president, they needed someone to play persecutor for him while Biden was in office. They decided to shift their hate from the Trump scapegoat onto every single person who voted for Trump. They believe only racists could vote for a racist president, for instance. Of course, if that were true, what would that say about people voting for Biden who molested children on camera? No, not everyone who votes for a president believes in the exact same things or has the same morals. There will be some overlap, or they wouldn't feel drawn to one over the other, but it doesn't automatically mean every voter knows or believes their preferred president did whatever it is. Now the Republicans are the scapegoat. So, now they believe it's not just Trump who is evil, but those who voted for him. They see those Republicans as the enemy. They either fear or hate them. I don't believe the fears are founded. I think it's a mass formation psychosis. They had free-floating fear, and the media just pointed them to Republicans as the problem. But regardless of why it happened, it happened. Nazi propaganda poster. Comparing your political opponents to detested creatures is not new. The Nazis depicted Jews, political opponents, and others as parasites that threatened the overall health of the so-called Volksgemeinschaft, German racial community. Propaganda poster, Jews are lice, they cause typhus. You can click on that link to see that. Because dehumanization of your political enemies can lead to genocide, it's important to pay attention when you see it happen around you. 10 Stages of Genocide. The 10 Stages of Genocide is an academic tool and policy model created by Gregory Stanton, the founding president of Genocide Watch, to explain how genocide develops. The stages are not linear, and several may occur simultaneously. 1. Classification. People are divided into them and us. 2. Symbolization. When combined with hatred, symbols may be forced upon unwilling members of pariah groups. 3. Discrimination. Law or cultural power excludes groups from full civil rights, segregation or apartheid laws, denial of voting rights. 4. Dehumanization. One group denies the humanity of the other group. Members of it are equated with animals, vermin, insects, or disease. 5. Organization. Genocide is always organized. Special army units or militias are often trained and armed. 6. Polarization. Hate groups broadcast polarizing propaganda. 7. Preparation. Mass killing is planned. Victims are identified and separated because of their ethnic or religious identity. 8. Persecution. Expropriation, forced displacement, ghettos, concentration camps. 9. Extermination. It is extermination to the killers because they do not believe their victims to be fully human. 10. Denial. The perpetrators deny that they committed any crimes. 10 stages of genocide. The classification stage is done. The next stage is symbolization. MAGA became a symbol, and I don't think it was because the Republicans wanted that. I think because of the Democrats' hate for Trump and their perspective on the meaning of MAGA, they made it a symbol of what they hate. Democrats also turned not wanting to get vaccinated or wearing a mask into a symbol of what they hate. They also turned their own country's flag into a symbol of hate. Democrats might argue that it was not them who made these symbols, but it really was their meaning that they ascribed to them. Many Democrats have been absolutely fine with the U.S. flag for decades. It was the meaning that they now ascribe to it that they hate, and that meaning came from their own minds. The discrimination one is interesting. It's happening in some forms, such as the discrimination between vaccinated or masked and unvaccinated or unmasked. It's strange that this fell on political lines. In many cases, it didn't, but a lot of Democrats chose to #walk away from their party after the official party promoted itself as being pro-mask and pro-vaccine. I'll also say I saw a lot of complaints about Democrats doing their best on November 3rd to keep Republicans from voting. This seemingly wasn't a large prepared nationwide activity, but I get the feeling a lot of Democrats wanted to deny Republicans voting rights that day. There's no way to know if that happened a lot or a little bit, but it did happen. If you ask Democrats if it would be good to deny Republican voting rights, too many would answer in the affirmative these days. Obviously, referring to Republicans as MAGAts is dehumanization. To be fair, referring to Democrats as demon rats is the same thing. The organization stage is an interesting one. By incorporating the vaccine requirements, you could say our military was kicking out the uncompliant, which happened to mostly be Republicans or Libertarians, while keeping the Democrats in power positions. The same happened with the police officers when they required them to shut down businesses or be biased in enforcing the law. Certain police left the force, and the ones who stayed were compliant with the mostly Democrat policies. Mainstream and social media plays a big role in polarization. There is a polarization on both sides. However, the mainstream and social media that most people see are heavily sided with Democrats against Republicans and/or Libertarians. So the Democrat propaganda is seen by way more people. I don't believe we've seen the preparation or extermination at all, unless you count the elderly who were killed by some Democrat governors placing sick people in nursing homes as an attempt to kill conservatives. I think that's pretty far-fetched. But persecution falls between those last two stages, and there's a lot of persecution based on political beliefs happening in the workplace. A lot of policies and education and large corporations are based on woke beliefs right now, and people who disagree with them can get fired or just never hired. Democrats are definitely in denial that this is happening. It's not surprising that the people who commit genocide deny it afterward. I don't think they ever saw it happening, since they viewed the other, in quotation marks, as pests that simply needed to be gotten rid of. We're pretty far down the list of stages of genocide. It's not surprising that people are on edge. What people need to do is stop dehumanizing others. But you can't tell another person not to do that, especially if they look at you like a pest to begin with. Don't view them as victims. You may view these people as victims of brainwashing. You can't, quote-unquote, save them out of this belief or mindset. The best thing to do is to focus on preparing yourself and acting accordingly. Don't hang out with people who hate you because they're looking for ways to harm you. Please feel free to leave a comment or share this if you've enjoyed it. Thank you for listening.